All right, welcome to today's episode of Tomorrow's Leader, where we dive deep on all things leader related to leading you and leading everybody else. So you may notice I'm in different space here. If you're watching, if you're listening, you may notice a little difference in the sound. Some of you know I've made a move down to North Carolina, which I'm super pumped about. I'm in a great, beautiful place near family and great area. Super excited. But the move has been pretty horrific, to say the least. And that I'm going to say for a whole different podcast episode. It has been an absolute disaster. But needless to say, I'm here in a slightly makeshift studio, not my normal stuff. I'm still waiting for some of that stuff to get here. So we're going to do the best that we can. But I've missed all of you. I feel like I've been out for the last week or so. I know I missed. So I know I've had a lot of texts from some of you saying, hey, where's the last episode going? Did I miss something? No, you didn't miss something. I just had about a week gap there. So now I'm getting back into the swing of things. So good to have all you here. I wanted to talk about a concept, and I got so many different things I want to talk about, but today's episode is going to be about the concept and a really cool, easy strategy to get yourself and your team doing the stuff that's the tough stuff that we know we need to do, but we just don't get to do it, or we don't do enough of it. Okay, maybe we're doing it, we're just not doing enough of it. And we all deal with this. I've dealt with it. I always have worked on and working with teams and leaders on how you overcome some of those obstacles of just either getting motivated to do something that's tough or keep doing something that's tough. But these are typically the things that are the high payoff tasks that you know you need to do, but you have trouble getting yourself going toward those. So let's talk about what that might be. That could be anything from working out. A lot of us want to be in better shape and we just can't seem to get ourselves to the gym or to run or whatever. Could be in business, making those sales calls. I mean, I know from years and years of doing them, they're not fun. Few people find that prospecting activity fun, but you got to do it. You got to push yourself. You got to push your team to do it. It could be dieting. It could be doing yard work. It could be taking a course and furthering your education. The stuff that you want to do deep down inside, you feel you need to do, but you just can't push yourself to get started. And this is such an easy concept, super easy concept. But very few people actually take advantage of it. And it's something I did years ago, and then I got away from it, and I've just gotten back to it recently, and it reminded me of the value of this. And that's a simple concept of partnering with somebody. So I'll give you an example. And a lot of us are solopreneurs. A lot of people out there that are working by themselves. And you know what? Hey, it's lonely. I get it. You're on your own. Even when you have a success, you want to find somebody, you don't even know who to share that success with. When you're in an office or a big corporation or a big organization, it's a little bit different. Or a team, you got a bunch of people around you. But for those of you out there who might be running your own businesses, you really got to search for ways that you can kind of get that feedback or share that success, or sometimes the tough days, whatever that may be. Partnering is a great way to do this. And all kinds of different benefits. And let me just start. I'll give you an example with working out. Years ago, I used to, and I've always been working out for most of my life. And years ago, I had a great partner. I'll give him a shout out, Kevin Nolly. Kevin Nolly and I used to just hit the gym in college, and we just worked out relentlessly. And it was such a huge benefit. And then I got away from it for years and years. And just recently, in moving down to North Carolina, my brother-in-law, Jeff Draper, and I have started to work out together. And wow, that just reminded me of some of the value of this. Here's a couple of things. I'm going to go through a few quick points that show you, that demonstrate why it makes sense to find a partner to help you get to that peak level of performance. One is just a simple accountability, right? I know that my likelihood of showing up at the gym is significantly higher when I've got Jeff that I know is going to be waiting for me. Right. And him to me as well. I know that the fact that both of us are going to be meeting there increases significantly the likelihood that we're going to go. Okay. That in of itself, if you did nothing else, if that was the sole purpose. So if I'm on a diet and I got somebody doing it with me and we're holding each other accountability, that accountability factor is huge. It's absolutely huge. If I'm making sales calls, I used to make calls. I made them on Saturdays at night during the day. It sucked. But if I got somebody to do it with me, you know what? It held me accountable. It made me do them. It made me stick to them. All kinds of other things that come from it. Secondly, is when I'm working out with somebody or doing something with a partner, there's that competitive nature, right? So that person's going to push you a little bit harder or further. So I'm looking, if Jeff's lifting, more weight, which is rare. Now, kidding. Little shout out to Jeff. Jeff usually lifts a little more, but that pushes me, right? So that's going to make me lift a little bit harder because I got that competitive nature to me. So that my quality of my workout is going to go up. But it's even beyond that. So here's a few things that people forget. When I am doing a task, if I'm doing it by myself, I'm just learning from myself. But if I'm doing it with somebody else, my learning curve goes up dramatically. It's dramatically steeper. And the reason why is because two things happen. I'm getting feedback from that person, and I'm also getting an opportunity to watch that person, right? So I'm observing them and I'm seeing what they do. So if I'm making phone calls, tough sales calls, and I'm with a partner doing it and I'm listening to them, I might be learning from some of the stuff that they're saying on the phone, or they might have a tough call and I'm learning from them on how they're handling that resistance or how they're advancing to the next step or maybe closing the call. If I'm working out and my form is bad and I'm doing curls and I'm starting to swing or arch my back, then I've got Jeff watching me. He's going to see stuff that I'm not going to see, right? So even if I'm looking in the mirror, there's different vantage points I'm not going to see. So my quality goes up, number one, but my rate of learning goes up dramatically. So Jeff may be, doing something a little bit different, or maybe I'm making calls with somebody. They may be doing something a little bit different that now I can bring into my routine of how I'm doing things. Another big benefit is the energy level. So it's really unlikely, and we've all had days like this where we're just not feeling like doing that task. It's like our energy level is low. Maybe I'm not feeling well, whatever. I didn't get a good night's sleep. It's really unlikely that myself and my partner are both going to have down days, right? So it's more likely that maybe if one of us might be having a good day. One of us might have a little bit more energy. We're going to feed off that with each other, right? So that's going to help each other. And that's another big, beautiful thing to having a partnership. You get to the end of a workout, or you have 2 hours blocked off to make calls, and you have what I call drift tendency. So toward the end, when energy is low and I'm tired and I'm starting to, lose my motivation maybe for finishing these last few sets, you've got somebody there that's going to push you to keep going, right? So my tendency, if I've got somebody there watching me, is going to be, I'm going to make sure that I'm stricter. I'm going to be ensuring that I go through the whole process. I stick to that 2 hour block of calling if I'm making calls. I'm going to go through the whole workout. I'm going to make sure I'm not going to cut out that last few sets. The other day, I didn't feel like doing squats. We had done a whole bunch of other stuff. And I'm like, I even said, Jeff, why don't we just knock out squats and skip to the next thing or whatever? And his response, which was great, was no, let's actually do the squats, which was great. We did them, and it turned out to be a much better workout. If I was by myself, that wouldn't have happened. Never would have happened. So you've got a much better quality workout or activity because I've got somebody that's doing it there with me and making sure that at the end, I don't veer off. I remember making dials till 9 o'clock at night. It was ridiculous. And you get to 8 o'clock at night, that last hour, 8:30, 8:45, it's like, wow, my tendency would be to just want to kind of pack up early. But if you think about if I shaved off 15 minutes every single day or every single night or every single week, that adds up to a huge amount over time. So that might be, dozens and dozens of new potential clients. That might be extra growth if I'm working out. It could be a better physique if I'm dieting. It could be all kinds of different things. So that ultimately helps. And then the last thing is it's fun, right? I have more fun if I do a tough key task, something that's really difficult. If I'm doing it with somebody else, it's going to be a little bit more enjoyable. It's going to be a little less painful than if I'm just doing it by myself. It could be anything. Hey, I got a little conversation going in between sets, whatever the case is, I'm going to have a little bit more fun. Maybe I have a little competition with somebody. If I'm, doing something else, it's going to influence me. If I'm dieting, we're going to have maybe a little bit of side bet going on. I don't know, whatever. Something to make it more fun and enjoyable. But bottom line, you've got to follow successful people. Most successful people, when they're doing a really tough task, it's just figuring out the little tricks that are going to get you to do it better or do it more. There's a lot of people that do the tough stuff, they just don't do it enough. And there's a bunch of people that don't even do it. But if you're one of those that do it, but you do it sporadically and inconsistently, try this technique, get a partner. Take the advice from Arnold Schwarzenegger. Arnold used to say, my workouts are much better when I have Franco. Franco used to help me. Franco Colombo, he's my partner, and my workouts would be that much better because, we push each other. We'd rise each other and we push, and our workouts, we'd lift much, much more weight. He was a super champion, right? So follow Arnold's lead. Take his advice and try this strategy. So partnering for peak performance. I hope you enjoyed this. It's been a short one today. I will be back in the next couple days, hopefully with my normal studio put together, back in action. I've missed all of you. Keep sharing, keep liking, keep your comments coming, your suggestions, and we'll see you next time. Thanks, everybody.